What's up, everyone? It's Cannan, and you all know how much I love the Silent Hill franchise. If you first subscribed when I reacted to the announcement of the Silent Hill 2 remake and all the other announcements related to Silent Hill that Konami made during that live stream event, you know that I am very, very passionate about this series. I do consider myself a bit of a horror genre connoisseur in a way when it comes to video games. Now, of course, I've not played every single horror game in existence, and I've not played every single horror game that I absolutely love on this channel. You know, I never finished Dead Space for you guys. I played the original a little bit on the channel, never played the remake, even though I have the remake. But I've mostly played, Resident Evil. I've been playing Alien Isolation. I played Alone in the Dark. But one particular game that I started doing Let's Plays for, and I ended up stopping after I got my new setup because I've still not figured out how to do Let's Plays and recordings on the PS3 with this new setup. Because at that time I was using a different computer and all that. And that was Silent Hill 3. Silent Hill 3 is my all-time most favorite game in the Silent Hill series, and Heather Mason to this day is not only my favorite Silent Hill protagonist, but she's probably my all-time favorite protagonist in any horror game. She is just that unique. She is that badass. She's pretty much everything you would want in a not really a Silent Hill, but a horror genre, whether it be a movie or a game. Now, of course, when Konami announced Silent Hill 2 Remake, I understood why they announced they were doing Silent Hill 2 first. And it's for two major reasons. One, Silent Hill 2 is not related story-wise at all to Silent Hill 1. They may as well have been, even back in the day, people were wondering, why is it called Silent Hill 2 if it has nothing to do with the first one? But also, it is the most popular game in the series. It is just the one that people gravitated to when it came to those old survival horror games on PlayStation 2. Now, some news has apparently leaked. Now, I do not know how accurate this person's leaks are, but apparently it has leaked that Konami is right now developing a Silent Hill 3 remake. Now, of course, I did have to translate this because the original is in Spanish, but it says, rumor, Silent Hill 3 remake development underway. Codename Project H. Now, I've seen Project H mentioned on many forums, including Reddit and other gaming forums, and if this is true, it kind of makes sense that it's called Project H, because H for Heather. It would follow the style of the remake of 2. Pretty much a faithful remake, but with added stuff. I'm kind of surprised a lot of people are complaining that Silent Hill 2 is longer than the original game. I think that's great. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with buying a remake when it is just a 100% start to finish, a full faithful remake of the original. But ever since Resident Evil 1 remake on the GameCube, I think that adding new stuff is a good thing, so I'm okay with that. It will have a greater focus on survival horror, contrary with a more solid narrative. So it sounds like to me because a lot of people thought Silent Hill 3 was very short, and in a way it kind of is. I used to know the game so well that I would just blast through it in a couple of days. Now not so much, it's been so long since I've played it. And Konami wants the Silent Hill IP to be big. Well, the thing is, it was big at one time, and you guys kind of dropped the ball. Now, I've already seen people wondering, why would they remake Silent Hill 3 before Silent Hill 1? Because even though it's the third entry in the series, Silent Hill 3 is a direct sequel of Silent Hill 1. So people are like, why would you release the sequel before the first one? There are two reasons that I can think of. The first reason is very simple, and that's money. Silent Hill 3 may not be the most popular entry in the series, but Heather is definitely the most popular protagonist in the series. People love Heather to the point to where if they really change her look much at all, people will riot. Like, for me personally, I don't care if they make her in more of a modern look, but you've got to keep the green skirt, you've got to keep the boots, you've got to keep the puffy white vest, you've got to keep the orange turtleneck like top under it. She's got to have her wristbands. It's got to be Heather. It does not need to look like something completely else. Another reason I can think of is the assets from Silent Hill 2. Now, despite being two different games that take place at different times, there are a few areas, mostly just a couple, that Heather goes to that James went to. Brookhaven Hospital, the area that I am currently in my live stream of Silent Hill 2. Make sure you tune in for the next episode later today. Brookhaven Hospital. Heather goes to that hospital. The streets around, like, that the hospital is on, that James was on, Heather goes there. So there are already assets that they could use from Silent Hill 2 that they would not have to make from the ground up for 3. Now, of course, there are a good bit of areas in Silent Hill 3 that are not in the sequel, like the mall from the beginning of the game and everything like that, the subways, the sewers, the construction zone, Heather's actual home, the amusement park that she goes to. So there are a good few places that, yes, that are not in Silent Hill 2, but at least that's already part of the game that they already have. Now, personally, from other information I've seen, this remake has actually already been in development alongside Silent Hill 2. Now, take that with a grain of salt. We do not know this 100%, and there's also rumors that apparently Bloomberg Team is also going to be the ones behind Silent Hill 3 remake. So, same people apparently that made Silent Hill 2 remake are going to be making Silent Hill 3. Now, what are the possibilities of this happening? Well, we have to remember that I personally think, and many others think, the biggest reason why Konami decided to go back to Silent Hill and to start getting into the remake business is Capcom. Whether it wants to be believed or not, I do believe back in the day Capcom and Konami had a rivalry with Resident Evil and Silent Hill, because whenever you talk about survival horror or horror in general in the video game world, those are the first two you think of, Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Resident Evil kind of being, the more sci-fi horror, where Silent Hill has always been more about psychological horror. Now, if the remakes that Capcom had not been doing had not been successful, Resident Evil 3 remake notwithstanding, we got to admit that Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 4 remake did exceptionally well and were very well received, to the point where there's now rumors that Capcom is going to go back and remake the remake of Resident Evil 1. Who knows? I'm personally hoping for a remake of Code Veronica. That's the only other main title that I think needs a remake that has not been remade. There's rumors of Resident Evil 5, though. I still think this day Resident Evil 5 looks good enough, and let's not even pretend 6 exists. But yes, I do think that is the main reason, is that Konami saw how successful Capcom was doing with the Resident Evil remakes, and so they decided to finally bring Silent Hill back from the dead with this, and so far it's working. Silent Hill 2 is a major hit. So, yeah, I think it's very easy that we will see remakes of not only Silent Hill 3, but Silent Hill 1, and maybe even Silent Hill 4 The Room. As far as any of the games that were not made by Team Silent, Origins maybe, I wouldn't mind an Origins remake, but Homecoming, Downpour, I don't think they need remade. I think we need to just... Downpour I enjoyed to an extent, but Homecoming, I think we just need to act like Homecoming doesn't exist. It was not a great game. I'm sorry, it just was not. And another reason why I think 3 will happen before 1 is that, unlike 3, 1 is definitely going to have to be made completely from the ground up, which I think will take longer. Plus, there are way more areas in Silent Hill 1 than there are in either 2 or 3. Harry goes to a multitude of areas in Silent Hill 1. Places that James and Heather don't even go to, like the school. So, yeah, if they are considering a Silent Hill 1 remake, I think it'll possibly be after 3, if this is true. But yeah, I think it's very safe for them to go to Silent Hill 3 after doing Silent Hill 2. Now, another thing that I want to touch upon real quick is this right here. This came out by Insider Gaming November 2nd, 2023. So this is almost a year old. Konami says more Silent Hill remakes are in development. Konami held its quarterly earnings call on Thursday and mentioned that more Silent Hill remakes are on the way. The update reads, as for ongoing efforts, we are working diligently on Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which is still not out yet as a recording of this video. One of the most beloved, and updates, as well as remakes and completely new entries in the Silent Hill series, which gained popularity as a psychological horror game. Now, some have noticed that it's kind of vague, because they're talking about stuff that they were making at the time. Because Silent Hill 2 remake had not been released yet. This, like I said, this was almost a year ago. But here's the thing: they used plural remakes. So, and then it goes on to say another Silent Hill project, the interactive streaming series Silent Hill Ascension. Woo! We know how that went, huh? Other games in this series like Silent Hill F, which I still think is a bit more time away, but that's the all new entry in the series. And then Silent Hill Townfall, we've not really heard much of anything about. Of course, we had the short message, which I still haven't finished on the channel. I need to finish that. But like I said, some pointed out that it's kind of vague. They could have been talking about Silent Hill 2 remake, but like I said, this says plural. So, who knows? Pretty much, take this with a grain of salt as of right now, because Silent Hill 2 Remake just released. If we get any kind of announcement, I wouldn't expect it till a little bit later in 2025. And maybe for a 2026 release, if this is happening. Now, if Project H was indeed in development alongside Silent Hill 2, we can see. It might come out sooner than we expected, because I do think Silent Hill Resident Evil 3 Remake came out a little fast, but we saw how that was. So I do not want any cut content from this. If this is true, it does make me happy that it says it'll have a more solid narrative. It'll follow the style of the remake of 2. So that doesn't really make me worried for cut content. Whoops, sorry. I always hit my mic in these videos, it seems. But tell me, what do you guys think? For me, it's a no-brainer. Silent Hill 2 is a success. I know not too long ago, we all hated Konami. But then again, at one point, everyone was hating on Capcom because, for me, they made me cry one time when they canceled Mega Man Legends 3. I've been waiting for that game for over a decade now, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. But then all the different versions they released of Street Fighter 4, I believe it was, at full price, The whole thing with Metal Gear Survive. The whole thing with, what was it called? It was like Resident Evil Mercenaries on the 3DS. You couldn't start over. They locked the save files in it or something like that. So yes, not too long ago, Capcom was not a very favored company in the eyes of the fans. They eventually turned it over. So with how good Silent Hill 2 Remake, I'm going to give Konami a little bit of the doubt, even though I was very angry when Silent Hills got canceled. Like, I was looking forward to that game. But, I think it's a no-brainer that we'll at least get Silent Hill 3 Remake. And in the long run, I think we'll have remakes of at least all the Team Silent games. So you'll have remakes of Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm really interested in what they would do with 4, The Room. I'm really interested in seeing what they could do with that. Depending on who remakes it. Will Bloomberg be the one that does all of them? I don't know. But this is kind of pointing to Bloomberg being the one that is doing Silent Hill 3. But if this is true, I'm excited. I can't wait to see my girl Heather again. Because if you guys thought I got hyped for Silent Hill 2 Remake, wait till you see my reaction to this, if this actually is true. But like I said, until we get further confirmation, take it with a grain of salt. But tell me in the comments, what do you think? Do you think Silent Hill 3 Remake is really in development? Or are you upset that they're not doing Silent Hill 1 Remake first and doing this instead? Or do you think it is a safe choice? But let me know in the comments. As always, guys, this is Cannan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you in the next one. See ya.